welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, the only show on Indian television where you, the MSME, get center stage. This is ETNA's special daily initiative to give MSMEs and entrepreneurs the opportunity to be front and center in every industry and area that matters to you. Tonight, we're bringing you two influencer conversations. First up, Chitkara Innovation Incubator Foundation, and later on the show, we'll bring you a conversation with Cheep. Just stay tuned. Incubators are a boon for startups as they get a hand-holding often right from the idea stage right up until the startup often gets funded. But while most of such incubators are based in the typical startup hubs of Mumbai, Bangalore or Delhi, increasingly we are seeing places like Chandigarh also being actively involved as well. My colleague Pooja Jain caught up with one such incubator, Chitkara Innovation Incubator Foundation, that's based in Chandigarh. Take a listen.
So generally speaking, how would you describe Chandigarh's investment climate to an outsider?
Chandigarh's investment climate has actually picked up now. For the last, I would say, 18 months to 24 months, it has actually picked up. We saw an investment into startups, around 2-3 startups being invested from a local group of investors, over $1 million. So it is picking up. Being a tier 2 city, it took time. But last 5 years have been a time of awareness, understanding the word startup, understanding more on the innovation part. And it has been a journey, but now exactly we see a group of angel investors coming together and having more startups to invest in.
Mm-hmm. And against this backdrop, you spearhead an incubator-cum-accelerator that's affiliated with Chitkara University. Explain to us why this model and how it works.
At the end of the day, a young mind, a young student would love to go into an environment which has positive energy, where there is more of opportunities to network, to collaborate, to discuss ideas. So we thought of having a physical space, in Chandigarh, to have young minds come, contemplate, deliberate on ideas, look at entrepreneurship as an alternative career, because at the university, a lot of effort is going on to build their mind towards looking at entrepreneurship as an alternative career. So the physical space attracted a lot of youngsters because they find difficult to find easy access to space, and we provided that easy access to space, a more colorful, creative environment, affordable, very affordable.
Well, it's no secret that the government is the largest employer in Chandigarh. So where does tech fit into all that?
Oh, tech, that's a good question. Tech has actually taken up a lot of, I would say, momentum in the last 7 to 8 years, with the Chandigarh IT Park, with Infosys being there, with over 25,000 employees, through around 50 plus good companies. You have Tech Mahindra, you have IBM, you have Infosys. So the tech has definitely taken a good flight, I would say, a smooth one, with Chandigarh being looked up as a tech services industry, product development industry. And the government has also played a key role by setting up this IT park.
So is the Chitkara Innovation Incubator Foundation primarily geared towards startups that are in the prototyping phase? Or is there room for more mature businesses that are further along in their development life cycle?
Well, our incubator is open to startups from anywhere. We have startups from Mumbai, we have startups from Delhi, we have startups from smaller cities from Punjab like Batinda, we have startups from very small cities like Malot in Punjab, and definitely we have startups from Ludhiana and Chandigarh as well.
Well, how do you evaluate these companies to determine that they are worthy of these services? What is the selection criteria?
One of the main selection criteria is their passion. Are they building an idea or a product which is market ready, which is very important? Is there a need of what they're going to do? Is the team in place? So it's not just an easy yes on the day number one they walk into us. Obviously, we have a set of a structured mentoring program, a team where they go and meet one-on-one. And once we all decide that, okay, yes, this is good startup to qualify to come and work into the incubator, because at the end of the day, the success of the incubator or an accelerator lies in the success of the startup.
And how would you classify the incubator's contribution to that success in particular?
I would say the incubator has played a key role, because it's just not about space. It's also checking the health of their startup, how they're doing, regular interactions, events. We have a calendar set up 6 months in advance, where mentors from Pan India come in and inspire and talk to these startups, do a Q&A session with them. We have investors coming and meeting them, angel investors coming and meeting them, understanding whether they are ready to receive a fund or not. That's very important. Or it's just a myth that they are looking forward to raise money, because somewhere it is a myth. Yes, okay, every startup needs to raise money, but it is good to bootstrap initially, and definitely a startup would need money to scale up. So the incubator constantly monitors that what are their needs. We have a very good program within the incubator. We have a community manager, an assistant community manager, where they all interact with these startups. So what are their needs? So they need some fund to prototype an idea, which is an innovative stuff. Somebody's, like one of our startups has manufactured a prototyped helmet lock, and they needed some amount, let's say they needed ₹500,000 rupees. So if the incubator is not providing that, or the university is not providing, then it gets delayed. It might lose track of his focus, the passion. But if it is provided, which we do, it definitely helps and elevates that startup to the next step.
Well, many entrepreneurs are considered to be accidental entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs on a journey where they stumbled into their passion, essentially.
Right.
Now, being a university-affiliated incubator, do you feel you've been able to streamline that passion a lot earlier on and hence get the entrepreneur on the right track from the get-go?
Absolutely. I think we have been quite the early movers and shakers into that field, that we have provided the infrastructure, which is the key. We have provided a right mentoring program, which motivates them to come. Because when they come, they see 40 plus startups working in an environment. They feel, okay, they can do it. At the end of the day, it is very much individualistic. One has to take a call within that, okay, yes, now I can do it. I leave my job, I can do it, I can create employment. So definitely there has been a lot of, I would say the incubator has been instrumental in helping them build a call.
And what is the average age of the entrepreneur here?
Oh, that's interesting. The average age would be 19 to 21.
The Make in India movement is making headlines, clearly. How would you describe its impact?
Making in India has inspired a lot of youngsters to think. The goal of such programs is making an individual to think first, think little more deeper, and what he or she can develop to address the needs of a larger part of the society. How he can innovate, how he can frugally innovate, develop certain things. Like there are interesting startups which have come after Make in India. I know of some of them. One is working in aerospace, trying to develop parts and engineer parts and innovate parts, develop prototypes for rockets going into space. As you see, Indian aerospace system along with ISRO has picked up very fast. We launched a lot of satellites. So the young startups are coming into aerospace and defense. They feel the scope that, okay, if they set up manufacturing units with the subsidized policies of the government, funds from the government, there is a scope. So engineers are taking risks to set up their own enterprises.
And how do you ultimately measure your own success in the incubation space?
Well, we measure our success because any incubator success would be that the right kind of startups who have a good industry match, because academia and industry have to work together. If you see most of the startups we talk about, the Facebook, the Yahoo, the Twitter, they're all born out of universities, right? And so we measure our success that these startups at our incubator, do scale up and don't stay with us for over 2 years or 3 years, and they go out to metros and do bigger business, raise funds, Series A, which is slightly little far for a city like ours. But definitely, I think in another year or two, we look forward to see that our startups raise much bigger money. And so success of a startup is very much related to the success of the incubator.
Your vision for how you see the incubator evolving in the future?
So right now we are 18,000 plus square feet of space at the incubator, and we have 40 plus startups, right? And we have 3 to 4 walk-ins every week for people looking for space and looking to work at Chitkara Innovation Incubator, because the space has built its own credibility because of the process, the team we have, and it's all because of the processes we built and the kind of easy approach the startups have with us. We address their issues. So we are definitely looking forward to set up another incubator in the city where we can attract and house in startups from all over India. So we look forward to that.
Time for a break. On the other side, on Influencer tonight, we'll put the spotlight on Cheep. Do stay tuned. welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight on Influencer, we're bringing you up close and personal with Cheep, the home services app. Do stay tuned. Now, have you ever looked for a carpenter and been unable to find one at a convenient time or price, or other home services that you needed to get done and wish to have a professional whom you could find easily? Well, the market for home services booked over an app is expanding, but there clearly is room for more. And I caught up with the founder of Cheep, a C2C home services mobile app, to talk about this market. Take a listen. Thank you very much for speaking with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, Dr. Nanda. Let's start by talking about Cheep.
Yeah.
Where did the idea for that come about? What does it do? You're in the C2C segment, so just run our viewers through what the app does.
Well, it's simple. You see, we run the largest security services group in the country. So we employ nearly 140,000 people, tops, our parent company. And we thought, how do we get into the consumer space? So ours is a B2B business altogether. You've got 10,000 customers. How do you get into the consumer space? And then we said, let's do something to consumers, which is, you can't provide security to consumers in apartments and bungalows and stuff, whatever. So we said, let's get into the home services segment. And that's how Cheep came about. So Cheep basically is a home services platform. It's a business where we let consumers like you, interact and talk to directly with the service providers directly on a C2C platform. Where what we do as a company is we make sure that they're all verified, they all trained, they're experienced, they've all been checked, they've been and we make sure that you get what you pay for. And of course, the best thing is you can negotiate with these guys directly. You can chat with them.
Sure.
You can read the reviews. You can ask questions and then decide what you want to do and pay the price. You decide, both of you all.
Okay, why C2C? A lot of your competitors, if I can call them that, are either in the B2C or the B2B business.
Yeah.
How did you decide that there was a market in C2C? Yeah, and where, did you sort of wet the market? And based on that, I basically want for you to talk to our viewers.
Right.
If they have an idea, how did they decide that the market is ready
for
it?
Well, you see, this in India or rest of the world, the consumers need to have a choice of what they do. So, if today you talk to me and I say this is my price on a B2C platform, then you don't have a say. You can't negotiate. You can't choose. You got to take what I give you. And this is a different model altogether where it's the choice is in your hand. So if you want a driver, you want a cook, or you want a plumber, you can see 30, 40 guys, 50 guys, 100 guys, get quotes from these guys, read reviews about these guys, speak to them, assess them, understand, are they good, are they experienced, ask more questions, and then make a decision, a uniform decision.
But how did you decide that the market was ready for a model like this?
That's what we do in our daily lives, don't we? So if you want to hire a cook, you meet 5 guys, you ask them questions. So we tried replicating the real live environment in the app, and it's working. People are enjoying it.
Okay.
So rather than speaking to a company or a businessman or a manager, they speak to the plumber directly. And it's just, they're loving it, they're liking it.
Okay, let's talk about perhaps some of the biggest challenges that you faced when launching the app. Because while you have been doing security services for a really long time now, yes, this has been an entirely different model.
Sure.
So based on that, one, what were some of the biggest challenges? How did you overcome those? And therefore use that to talk to our viewers to say that this was our challenge.
Sure.
This is what we did about it.
Our biggest challenge, if you may ask me, was technology. Okay. Because the business is the same. We provide services. But the way you sell it is different now because it's a C2C business. So you can't sell C2C business by going to a company like ET9 and saying, hi, take my, you're talking to a company there. So you don't talk to consumers. How do you sell to them? That's through the app. So the front end is the app. The back end is the same business, what we do, staffing, services, solutions.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You work in a market and in an industry and a sector that's very fragmented, that's very disenfranchised, if I can call it that.
Well, that's the opportunity then.
Okay, so you're saying that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
How do you work in this sector? For all of our viewers who perhaps are looking at this market and saying, hey, this is an interesting business opportunity, we want to be associated with this sector, what were perhaps some of the challenges of working with that sector, and how did you capitalize on that and make that an opportunity for yourself?
There were 2, 3 other companies in India who failed, who collapsed as well. Because this is not only about aggregation. It's about understanding people. And that's what we do for many years. Our fabric is about people all the time. We do people all the time. So I think we would be successful, and we are getting successful because we understand the blue-collar people. We understand them, how they think, how they deliver the service, where are the gaps. How do consumers think? What do they want? We try to plug the gaps all the time. For example, we have a zero customer dispute policy. We don't dispute with customers. Okay. If the customer is not happy with this plumbing job, for example, You call someone to your house, you're not happy with the plumbing. We wouldn't say, Sunanda, no, sorry, our guy was good and blah, blah. We have simple things, Sunanda, you're not happy? Not happy? Done. The plumber comes again. He'll come again and again and again till you're happy.
Okay.
Because once you're happy, you're forever going to come to Cheep. That's how we work with this. So for us, our customers are very important. For us, our people are very important. So we believe in being absolutely fair, transparent, ethical. And that's how Tops has become the biggest services group in the country. That's how Cheep is growing now.
Okay.
The same lineage, the same ethics, the same fabric, the same thinking. Same thing.
How do you verify the people who offer their services on your platform?
Luckily, I also own Tops, which is India's largest services group. And we do investigations there. We do nearly 50,000 cases a month, investigation cases a month. Okay. So I've got 400, 500 investigators who do background checks for all the big MNC companies and all your big IT companies. So we use our own team. We make sure all these get their background checked properly. They're verified. We do our checks. If required, we have to go to the police station to check them out. We also go, to their stores, their offices, check the licenses, check the experience. We really do a thorough job of that.
Okay. So one part of course is verification. The other is quality. How do you ensure quality of services being delivered? Do you undertake any kind of training at your end?
Of course. Okay. We train them all the time. You have to. So the good thing is that in our app, we don't work with individual plumbers, for example. We work with contractors. So if you're living in Bangalore, you're living in, so Cheep is now in 20 cities in India. So we in Guwahati, Bangalore, everywhere. So if you're in Bangalore and if there was a contractor next to you, a plumbing company next to you for 20 years, you've seen the guy there, he's on the app now. So he and his employees on the app. So because he's a contracting company and he's a firm, you are more confident that you get a better service. He's more trained, he's licensed, he's been experienced for many 20, 15 years. Sure. And then we train them on soft skills, we train them on the hygiene issues. We train them on how to be more soft with the customers, not argue, and do a good job at the end of the day. What do users need? They need someone who can deliver what they promise. And that's what Cheep does. It's a very simple app. It's just like Uber. In Uber, they drop you from A to B. Here we come and just repair your things for you and cook a good meal for you. That's it, and job done.
Okay,
Simple.
so you said something very interesting about, extensive training that you undertake in terms of quality.
Yeah.
We get a lot of questions on Leaders of Tomorrow where a lot of people tell us that we are being forced to undertake training at our end because we don't find the quality of people that we're looking for. Do you think there should be some kind of courses, training, etc. for people who are in this segment so that companies like yourself then don't end up training?
We are doing that in Tops.
Okay.
So in Tops we work with the government now where we are training more than 15 to 20,000 people, plumbers, electricians, carpenters, security, drivers, we train them. So the training course lasts from 90 days to 270 days, 3 months to 6 months we train them. So the good part of Cheep is, it piggybacks on Tops. It uses the facilities of Tops, and at the end of the day, people believe in Tops. People believe in the brand of Tops. It's the same company, the same lineage, the same quality standards.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were talking about Uber. Let me circle back to that.
Yeah.
As someone who's looking at aggregating this space in this market, how about pricing? Are your prices more expensive than what someone can find outside?
No, I think our prices are very realistic. Okay. They're not overtly expensive. They're not. Again, it's a C2C model.
Absolutely.
Where we don't decide the prices. Yeah. So if you want, let's say example, you want a massage, or you want a pet groomer for your dogs, we won't say, madam, it's 5,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees. No, you put the task out there, and then these guys give you quotes, live quotes. And then you can say, I want to pay 1,000, 500, 200, depending on what ratings, what reviews, how close he is to your house, how good he's with you. It's your call at the end of the day. It's your money, your call, your dog, your food. You decide.
Okay, so pricing you're saying is
it's totally fluid. It's totally fluid. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, sometimes we go cases where the pro charges a lot of money, and people pay him the money because he's exceptionally good. So it depends what you want from them.
Okay.
So you got high price, low price, medium price, optimum price. It's your call.
You said you're in 20 cities right now.
Yeah.
How are the consumers in tier 2 or tier 3 different from those in the metros? And maybe you can talk to our viewers who are not based in metros about how perhaps purchasing power is different in different
Well, I think it's not different today.
Okay.
I think everyone, the color of money is the same, the power of money is the same. Whether you take a plumber in Bombay, you take a plumber in Ludhiana, or even in Cochin, it's the same. So the only thing that varies is the price can be slightly higher in Bombay. Nothing else. But again, it depends, what you want to do, and you can negotiate with these guys directly, and you can negotiate and book the price. So it's people are enjoying it across the country, which is great.
We ask all the entrepreneurs who come on our show about how they fund the business, because everyone wants to talk money, everyone wants to know about how the business has been funded. How you
most important thing, how do you fund the business? So this is my company, so I've invested my own funds in this. Luckily, you know, I've been an entrepreneur, and I've made TOPS what it is today. TOPS is a huge group today, so the investors and the people believe that, you know, that if Dr. Nanda is doing cheap, you know, he would do a good job. So I've been investing my own money in this. We are looking for, you know, some Series A funding now, which we're very hopeful we get it very soon. But till the time, we're in no rush. We're working on the app. We're working on the quality of service. We're making sure that Sunanda, when she hires a driver or a cook, you get the best cook and the best driver. It's about the experience. As long as you're happy, we're happy.
I wish you all the very best for that. There's a lot that you have on your plate. Thank you so much for coming down to our studio and speaking with us.
Thank you.
That's our show tonight. If you have any feedback, it's most welcome. You can write to us at leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. You can also tweet at me at Sunanda_J. On Twitter, you can also reach us on our official Twitter handle, LOT_ET Now. We're at Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now on Facebook. That's our Facebook page. Or call us on that number you see on your screen. We love hearing from you. Thanks very much for watching. Have a good night.